Welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Live and Let Grow collection from Jen Hadfield. I have more photos of fishing. Surprise, surprise. And I decided I would try to get 3 of these photos on this one page. I am scraplifting this layout, and shame on me, I cannot remember who I am scraplifting. But they only had the 2 photos and used, I want to say maybe Print Shop by Vicki Boutin. So I am trimming down the 2 photos, and I'm going to keep the one larger one. And you can kind of see I'm kind of playing around with how I'm going to lay them out there. I knew that they were going to be overlapped. And so I had to kind of figure out how to place the photos, I guess, where I'm not losing a bunch of the photo or an important part of the photo. So I actually am switching the side, I guess the design a little bit. I initially thought I would have the large photo on the left-hand side, but that didn't work out with the other 2 smaller photos, so that is going to be on the right-hand side. I'm using this striped paper to kind of double back this layout here. I think I am, for the most part, using some scraps. And then I am going to gut the green paper so that I can use that either on this layout or future layouts. If it's a paper that I really like and know that I will use in the future, I will gut it. If it's a paper that I'm kind of indifferent about, then I'll just use the whole 12 by 12 paper and then place kind of my white paper over top. But pretty much anything in this collection I am going to use multiple times. And so that's why I gutted this green paper. So now that I have the border kind of all done, and now looking at it, I kind of do wish I would have left a little bit larger of a border, but I did keep it quite small. And now I'm going to kind of double back the larger photo here. Again, this is a scrap piece of paper. I think that one came from the project pad or the paper pad. A lot of times if it has the gold foiling, it didn't come kind of a loose leaf paper. It was in one of the pads. Just something that I've kind of noticed along the way. So now to fill in the bottom space of this layout, I'm going to be using strips of paper. And again, I'm scrap lifting. I don't know. I don't know if I cut them too large, or maybe if I would have cut, like, dovetailed the end, if I would have liked it better, but I don't love the layering at the bottom that I'm going to be doing. And I think here I'm kind of contemplating what to do then, because that leaves a big square underneath that larger photo. So I've got lots of white space kind of down there to fill in, as well as a larger white space at the top as well. So I am going to commit to the kind of strips of paper at the bottom. I do wish I would have dovetailed the end of them, especially since I do kind of layer them here. You can see that instead of just cutting them ahead of time and then placing them, I just glued them down and then trimmed off the end. I will do that a lot of times if I do dovetail them and make them into flags. That way I can kind of layer them and stagger them the way that I want them, instead of cutting it too short or cutting it too long and then having to kind of readjust or recut. So just something I've come to figure out, I guess, when I do use the flag. So I'm going to be using the alpha that is in the project pad here. It is a great light colored wood grain. And my title is going to be Hooked on Fishing, because he definitely is. He loves to fish. And this would have been kind of spring of 2020 when we were stuck at home trying to figure out kind of how to pass the time. We found a cute little lake and they would just go fish off the shore. I don't know that they ever actually caught anything, but they enjoyed themselves and I got cute pictures out of it. So now what I'm trying to do is trying to figure out how to cut this into a tag. I wanted 2 different size tags. And unfortunately, I didn't have a thin enough one that I could do this here. Instead of cutting it, I am, or like using my Big Shot, I'm actually cutting it by hand. Not really sure why I didn't just cut the entire thing. So you can see I'm just doing it by hand. Some days I don't know what goes on in this brain of mine. You have a die cut there, a thin cut. Why not just manually cut it? Who knows? Anyways, I'm sure I'm not the only one that looks back and thinks, why did I do something? So I'm really trying to figure out how to then cut this one here. I'm kind of measuring in from both sides and just really trying to cut it even, I guess. Because I wanted that green and I wanted it a thinner tag, and I just didn't have a thin cut. So it is what it is. It's not perfect, but it works. I definitely cut it down too far, I think, on the edges, but I am just gonna roll with it. So now I really had to figure out how to fill in that bottom right hand space. Here are the ephemera pieces. I love to kind of go through them and kind of pick out or place them on the layout where I think they would look good while I go through them. It just kind of helps, I don't know, it helps me in the long run. I'm not overthinking it, I think. So I do have multiple ephemera packs, so just kind of going through it, trying to see what will work for these photos. There are some fish in this collection, so kind of picking those out and then going through the rest of the embellishments that I have. I do have duplicates of one of the ephemera kits, or the ephemera packs, I think. So I'm not sure if I am going through the same one or if these are different, but I did find these little phrases that I thought would work nice in that white space on the bottom right, plus a bunch of other kind of sayings and phrases. So now it's just kind of picking and choosing where to put what. So I am going to commit to the sun and then the Wanderlust phrase up there. I am going to kind of switch the title around eventually. I like the way that bird at the bottom kind of rounds out the title, but I am going to switch that up eventually. And then here's those phrases that I found in the ephemera pack. I am going to kind of stagger them down the page once I find a couple of other ones. I did add a couple of gold stickers. Instead of punching the holes in the tags at the top, I just decided to add the gold stickers where the holes should have been. And then here's where I'm kind of wondering about that title, I guess, and also wondering what else to add to that bottom right. I am going to commit to the Let's Get Outside and that greenery. I think it was a perfect time of our lives, at least, to get outside. Lucky for us, we moved the summer before out into the country and have land that the boys were able to explore and spend lots of time outside during quarantine. It was just such a blessing to be in the house we are now and have that extra space. So you can see how I'm kind of staggering the phrases down on the right hand side and then trying to figure out the title. I just did not love, I don't know, the strips of paper or the title there. It just, the day that I was doing this layout, I was just getting really frustrated with the titles. So I'm kind of ignoring it for the time being, adding little bits and pieces to the rest of the layout. You can see I did a bug at the top of the layout and then the 2 bugs at the bottom with that fish down there as well. And then I am going to finally commit to fixing the title. I'm going to kind of deconstruct it and move the title around. I'm not going to make you watch me move it all over the place because it was multiple times of kind of fixing it. So this is kind of how I decided to fix it, so to speak, change it up. So I did kind of have the title now on 3 lines instead of just the 2. I feel like that bird kind of helps still round out that title a little bit, but it's still just, I don't know. If anybody has suggestions, please let me know. I think the rest of it I can handle. It's like the strips of paper in the title is what kind of has thrown me for a loop with this layout. I'm not in love with it. I love the saying of the title, but maybe not how it is down on the bottom there or how it's embellished around it. So I am really trying to kind of fill in that space of those strips of paper while kind of, I don't know, adding to the title, I guess. So definitely, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you like it, let me know. Maybe I'm just being too hard on myself. But once I get that done, that is going to finish off this layout. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know if you have any suggestions. I am always up for suggestions. So yeah, let me know. I will link this collection down below if you are interested. I'll try to do a cherry on top and scrapbook.com. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.